Welcome back to Bob's JimBlog. This is going to be Storytime 9. We'll travel to the Far East, to Asia. Let's see. And then, after having Asians in both North America and EU, and I was already 3 full-tech characters in both of those regions, I didn't have anybody in Asia. And if the Asians can come to the other regions and deal with 250, 300 ping, then I can go to Asia and deal with really, really bad ping. And that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Also, it was Thanksgiving. And in the Thanksgiving event, if you kill enough turkeys and get turkey feathers, you can spawn Dodorexes. But 90% of them are limited to 20 minutes, and you don't get permanent ones. But, you know what doesn't last 20 minutes? You're either going to win or lose? The boss fight. And so I saved up my ingredients for Tech Rex and spawned Dodorexes and put my summoning pot on Red Ob, spawned my 10 Dodorexes, and it doesn't matter that they're time limited because some of them are going to die. I mean, the first time wasn't bad. I won, but I didn't get the jetpack. I don't know if I had 1 or 2 permanent ones. The second day I tried, on the other hand, there were too many low-level Dodorexes, and so I lost. But my playing on whatever server I was on had piqued somebody's interest. Whoever the current alpha was, or tame broker, or however we may identify him. Anyway, he was interested in my North America, Texas space playing on his Asia server and was like, here, have whatever tech blueprints you're missing. Which was helpful. Because from there, I don't need to keep farming for all those Dodorexes to waste. I can start cheesing again to make my 3 characters and support myself, which you definitely need. And so, making it to Asia Sky 9, you know, they still had their little alpha coalition. It seemed to be more in the way North America worked. If you remember, North America was a bunch of solos that would coalition if somebody was going too ham or abusing something. Whereas EU was a couple of mega tribes. You know, the Russian tribe and Fairy Tale were a lot of people, and they built their bases stupid big. Like even the big tribes in North America, none of them built too big a base. I guess some of them, I guess there's differences of opinion. People complained about some bases, but they never seen how big they were in EU. There are some pretty big ones in Asia too. But also there's build styles and different things that I can kind of track how and where people have been by how they think and how they build and what they're you can tell. So let's see. And I'll touch back more on you can tell from people's building later. On Asia, leveling up, once I had got all my blueprints, you know, I didn't have much of a base on Sky 9. I just, you know, stacked a bunch of steel gates together and on a dawn island, I'd put a whole bunch of grass to raise the dawn island above and have a nice, fresh, one-block dawn island. And what had happened was the big coalition tribe had a tech teleporter there. And he was coming back from farming on his tech Rex, and I wanted a base tour. So, of course, I was standing on the tech teleporter with him and his Rex. But, you know, he was not going to teleport like that. He didn't want me sneaking in and hitching a ride with him on his tech teleporter. And so he tried to bite at me with his tech Rex, and I immediately, you know, crowd control, ice rifle him, and, you know, so I stood back, you know, peacefully, and we're both on the tech teleporter still, and he was not, he wasn't happy with that. We did that another time or so, and then he flew off on the tech Rex to base to go dump, and wouldn't take me through the tech teleport. I mean, what was I not going to die of turrets? People just not put turrets inside their base. Anyway, they came back, and they fobbed on my Dawn Island, to which is a Dawn Island. I have nothing there. They had, and when I say fob, they, you know, put their tech generator and tech teleporter inside a tech force field. And I'd lucked out. You know, I'd already done all the bosses. I've got my tech, my full Ascendant hotbar, and I've got brooms, because I fly on brooms. That's my jam. That's the things I rush to get. And so what happened was, while they were fobbing on me, I immediately went ham. And so, because I've got multiple bases and multiple people in the region, you know, I uploaded, you know, the rockets and dark magic and ammo and, you know, repair materials, all the accoutrements. And so I jump out, and I'm rocketing their force field, and I'm keeping dark magic on it so that they can't repair it, making sure to just keep getting a dark magic before they get repair time. And I'm going ham. I'm fighting them anytime they jump out of their force field. I'm just on it, you know, full pit bull, roof, 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 you know. And so much so that I have pushed them into their force field, and I'm, of course, talking mad trash in world chat, and I try to get on my broom, and it glitches, and I get on the broom through the force field, which allows me to get off, shotgun them both inside their force field, and now I own their force field. I am strafing back and forth and yelling in chat and just trying to fight them off, not exiting the force field, because I'll get kicked out, but just enough to make my shots at them. And it was good times. They decided that they would truce and that we would be homies. And so that's how I became truced with FMVP in Asia.